The Gates of Heaven, a tale from Japan. I'm not sure who it was who said it, but the words make sense. Being at peace does not mean living in a place where there's no noise, trouble, or hard work. Peace is when you're in the midst of such things, yet still calm in your heart. Well, surely one of the goals of wisdom is to achieve such a feeling. The wise man in this next story certainly thought so. Hakuin Ekaku was born in the Japanese village of Hara in 1686, and he spent his first 40 years accumulating wisdom. He spent his next 43 years teaching what he had learned. He died at 83 in that same village, which had become a notable center of learning because of his presence there. This is the most famous story about him. About 3 centuries ago, there lived in Japan a warrior named Akiro, who was famous for his skill with sword and dagger and for his ferocity in battle. Whoever challenged Akiro to combat, whether singly or on a battlefield where thousands were fighting, stood no chance against this swordsman. So great did Akiro's fame grow that the emperor honored him by appointing him to be one of 3 bodyguards who guarded the emperor night and day. Proud of his speed and strength, gaining in wealth and influence, Akiro lived by violence for many years. But as he grew older, Akiro began to question the life he had led. He asked the emperor if he might have some time to himself for a personal matter, and the emperor granted his wish. So the greatest swordsman in Japan mounted his horse and set out on the long journey from the busy royal capital to the quiet village in which there lived the wisest man in Japan, Hakuin. Akiro arranged for a meeting, and there he told his story to Hakuin. Akiro concluded, "Now, as I grow older, having lived the life I have lived, I begin to wonder what fate awaits me after all I have done. Master, I am strong. I can bear the truth. Tell me, is there a hell? Is there a heaven?" For a moment, Hakuin sat unmoving, like a statue. Then suddenly, the wise man exploded into laughter. He laughed, and he laughed, and he laughed. "Is there a hell? Is there a heaven? You rode all this way to ask me that? Those are the stupidest questions anyone has ever asked me. You idiot! You imbecile! Why, I don't believe your claim to be the Emperor's personal guard. The Emperor's far too wise to trust his safety to such a fool as you." Akiro was furious. "No one speaks to me that way and lives!" he shouted. "No one speaks to me that way and lives," Hakuin mocked. "I warn you, one more word." "You don't frighten me." In one lightning movement, Akiro's deadly sword was in his hand. The razor-sharp blade hovered at Hakuin's throat. But the wise man calmly said, "There, my friend, you have answered your own question. For now, with your blade at my throat and anger filling your heart, you stand poised at the very gates of hell." Akiro's eyes flew open in surprise. Then he slid his sword smoothly back into its scabbard and bowed. And as Akiro stood bowing, he heard the wise man say, "Congratulations, my brother, for now you have conquered your greatest enemy, your own will to do violence. And now you stand before the gates of heaven." For more titles from Jim Weiss and Well-Trained Mind Press, please visit us at jimweiss.com or welltrainedmind.com. Thank you for listening.